Right, so this is a set shot technical model. Right, so what is a technical model? A technical model is made up of three phases: the preparation phase, the execution phase, and the recovery phase. So the component used in the preparation phase is the body position. So the detail, which is on the technical model, is the crouch position, legs bent, feet facing the basket, head facing the basket, so he's looking where it's going to go, hands in the ball, so it's tucked into your chest before you release it. So your shoulders got to be square on to the basket. In the execution phase, you use extension, so you extend all your body. So you raise your feet and stand on your tiptoes, raise your legs, extend your torso, extend your arms, flick your wrist. Use a straight, you get to straight back, you hold it back up straight, so you increase the height of release, and then you finally release. The recovery phase is, well, follow through. You hold the flick that you put on the ball until the ball is dipping into the basket. Hold the position of the non-thrown arm that you use as a guide. Lower the upper body into the natural position, so you're back like relaxing, and then you prepare for the next free throw, which is back in that crouched position. Right, so here we have the preparation phase of an untrained basketball player. He demonstrated a poor technique, although he did have one good point, which was his head was facing the basket and he was square on to the basket. A bad thing was his hands were not tucked into the ball, which means he had a lower percentage he would get it in, as he wouldn't get on a height of release or anything like that. He would just sort of throw it like it was a chest pass. His knees were half bent, so the performer could extend his legs when executing the shot, so the height of release increases, although they wasn't fully bent. So if they were a bit more bent, then he would be able to get a higher height of release, so the angle he had to get in would increase. His back foot wasn't facing the basket, which resulted in a less accurate shot, so he was just pointing to an angle. So yeah, that wasn't right. So here is a trained basketball player during the preparation phase. He had good technique. He was facing the basket square on, and his head was facing the basket, so he was looking where it was going to go. His hands were tucked into the ball and were high before the point of release, so there was a high percentage that he would get it in, as he was increasing the height of release, so the angle he had to which to get it in was larger, so there was a high percentage he would get it in. His knees were bent, so the performer could fully extend his legs when executing his shot, so the height of release changes against trying to get to the optimum height. Both feet were parallel to the basket, which does increase accuracy, so yeah, that's another good point towards the trained basketball player. Well, so here is the untrained basketball player during the execution phase of his set shot. He demonstrated another poor technique. He didn't flick the wrist, so no backspin was generated. However, his eyes and head were still facing the basket. So as there isn't a backspin generated, the ball would literally just bounce off the backboard and just come back to him. So yeah, he pushes his arms instead of fully extending them, so it looks like a chest pass. So he pretty much didn't even take the set shot as it should be. He just chest passed it. His back wasn't straight, which reduces the height of release, so it was a harder angle to score in. And finally, his feet were firmly on the ground, which reduces the height of release again, so it's harder to score. Well, here's the trained basketball player during the execution phase. He showed a good technique, so he flicked his wrist, which makes the ball backspin, and then hit the backboard and spin back into the basket, so with more accuracy. His head and eyes were still fixed on the basket, which is where he was aiming. His torso extended from the preparation phase, so he's no longer in a crouch position, and he has a straight back now, which improves the height of release. His legs were extended, again giving the performer a greater height of release, and his feet were elevated, optimising the angle of release, and again the height of release, so yeah, it would increase. So yeah, that means he'll have a higher chance of getting it in the hoop. Right, so here is the untrained athlete again during the recovery phase. Again, demonstrated a poor technique. He didn't prepare for the next throw, he just waited around watching the ball, so he didn't really get back into that crouch position, or he didn't hold the flick or hold his arm up or anything. So he didn't hold the position with his non-thrown arm as a guide. He had both arms on the ball, which reduces accuracy and momentum of the shot. he didn't hold the flick after the release of the ball. He went straight into the natural position of relaxation, so he just went back. He didn't move his feet at all or anything, he just stood there. So that is quite poor. So yeah. Right, here is the trained athlete in the recovery phase. He demonstrated good technique. So compared to Joss, who was poor technique, Tommy held the flick position for the follow through. This shows he had good technique and generates momentum on the ball, so it's more likely to get into the basket. He holds his non-thrown arm up as a guide to where the ball is going to go, so that improves accuracy a lot. So most trained performers do that. So yeah. Whereas Joss, he had his arms down by his side, so he didn't get an accurate shot. He's still on tiptoes after the shot, and at his maximum height after taking the shot. So yeah, that shows that he's had a good technique and he's got a good follow through, which prepares him for the next shot. He did, after this picture, he did go back to the crouch position, ready for the next shot, whereas Josh did just stand there. So yeah.
I've cut balls of steel.